As the sun dipped below the horizon on June 18, 1966, the Circuit de la Sarthe was alive with the roar of Ford GT40 Mk II engines. After years marked by relentless development and hard-fought lessons, Ford's endurance racers were closing in on a historic triumph. The 24 Hours of Le Mans had long been dominated by Ferrari, but now, Ford's bold and expansive factory effort was about to rewrite that narrative with an unprecedented 1-2-3 finish. The pressure on drivers and crews was immense, each lap bringing them closer to glory, yet also to the limits of mechanical endurance and human stamina. Yet, even as the checkered flag loomed, a decision made within the Ford camp introduced a complex twist. A planned formation finish was intended to showcase Ford's dominance, but it complicated which driver would officially be declared the winner. Ken Miles, a key figure behind the GT40's development and racing success, found himself at the center of this unfolding drama. The final moments at Le Mans captured more than just a race. They embodied years of engineering innovation, strategic planning, and the high stakes of endurance racing. Understanding how Ford arrived at this moment requires looking back to the critical turning point when negotiations between Ford and Ferrari collapsed, setting the stage for an ambitious new chapter in motorsport history. To understand how Ford reached this defining moment, we must first revisit the failed negotiations that set the GT40 program on its challenging path. In 1963, behind closed doors, Henry Ford II pursued a bold vision to acquire or collaborate with Ferrari, the Italian powerhouse dominating European motorsport. Ford sought a swift path into the prestigious world of endurance racing, where Ferrari's name was synonymous with success, especially at Le Mans. The idea was to leverage Ferrari's established expertise and racing pedigree, allowing Ford to enter the sport with a competitive edge already in place. Yet, the negotiations quickly revealed deep divides. Disagreements over control of the racing program and financial terms proved insurmountable. Enzo Ferrari, fiercely protective of his company's independence, was reluctant to cede the level of authority Ford demanded. Meanwhile, Ford was unwilling to accept a partnership that limited its influence or diluted its brand's presence. These clashes led to the talks collapsing without an agreement, a turning point that reshaped Ford's approach to motorsport. This failure was far more than a disappointed business deal. It ignited a new and ambitious strategy within Ford. Rather than simply seeking revenge against Ferrari, the company recognized an opportunity to forge its own identity in international racing. The goal expanded beyond beating a rival. It was about establishing Ford as a serious contender on the global stage, enhancing corporate prestige, and pushing technological boundaries through motorsport. Ford's leadership understood that success at endurance races like Le Mans demanded more than raw power. It required a dedicated program combining engineering innovation, strategic planning, and skilled personnel. This realization sparked the creation of a complex, multinational effort to design and build a race car capable of challenging Ferrari's dominance from the ground up. The decision to develop Ford's own endurance racing program set in motion a series of intricate collaborations. British and American teams and engineers would come together, blending diverse expertise to tackle the challenges ahead. This was not simply a matter of putting an engine in a chassis. It was a comprehensive project addressing aerodynamics, durability, handling, and reliability over grueling 24-hour races. In this context, the GT40 program was born. The name itself, derived from the car's strikingly low height of approximately 40 inches, symbolized a fresh approach to race car design. Ford Advanced Vehicles in Britain played a crucial role in the early development stages, working alongside various partners to realize this vision. The program's foundation rested on more than ambition. It was a calculated, corporate-driven endeavor to redefine Ford's place in motorsport history. The collapse of the Ford-Ferrari negotiations thus marked a pivotal moment. It closed one door but opened another, leading to a determined pursuit of endurance racing glory on Ford's own terms. This chapter reveals how corporate strategy, marketing goals, and racing aspirations intertwined, setting the stage for a demanding engineering journey that would ultimately culminate in a historic victory. With negotiations ended, Ford turned to a multinational team to create a new kind of race car, one that could challenge Ferrari at its strongest ground. What does it take to build a race car from two continents? The story of the Ford GT40 begins not just with American ambition, but with a remarkable collaboration that crossed the Atlantic. After Ford's talks with Ferrari ended without agreement, the company launched a dedicated program to develop a car capable of challenging the Italian giant on the world's toughest endurance racing circuits. This effort combined the raw power of American engineering with the refined chassis design and aerodynamic expertise of British motorsport. Central to the early GT40's development was Ford Advanced Vehicles, a British-based subsidiary created specifically to oversee the project's technical progress. Their role was pivotal in shaping the car's identity. The design drew significant inspiration from the Lola Mk II, a sleek and innovative sports racer conceived by Eric Broadley, whose influence was felt throughout the GT40's conception. However, it would be an oversimplification to call the GT40 merely a renamed Lola. Broadley's ideas provided a foundation, but Ford and its partners transformed that groundwork into something uniquely suited to their goals, blending speed, endurance, and American muscle. The GT40's name itself reflects a defining characteristic. Its remarkably low profile, standing just around 40 inches tall. This extreme height was more than a styling choice. It was a deliberate aerodynamic decision intended to reduce drag and improve stability at high speeds. This low-slung silhouette became a symbol of the car's cutting-edge approach, combining aggressive performance with race-ready aesthetics. John Wyer, a respected figure in endurance racing with experience managing successful teams, played an instrumental role in the program's early stages. His expertise helped guide the integration of British craftsmanship with Ford's resources, laying the groundwork for a car that would soon attract attention on both sides of the Atlantic. Under his management, the GT40 program began to take shape as a serious contender. Meanwhile, the car's powertrain embodied American strength. The GT40 married British chassis and aerodynamics with robust Ford V8 engines, aiming to harness the best of both worlds. This transatlantic partnership was a complex balancing act, melding different engineering philosophies, racing cultures, and technical challenges into a single machine designed to compete at the highest level. This multinational collaboration was not without its hurdles. Coordinating efforts across countries and teams required careful management and constant adaptation. Yet, it was precisely this diverse expertise and shared ambition that forged the GT40's early identity. The car emerged as a symbol of Ford's determination to build a genuine endurance racing competitor, one that could challenge Ferrari's dominance, not just with speed, but with innovation and teamwork. As the GT40 was unveiled to the public in 1964, it carried the promise of a new era in sports car racing. But that promise would soon be tested. The car's debut revealed critical technical challenges that demanded relentless refinement and resilience. The road ahead was far from smooth, and the lessons learned in those early trials would shape the GT40's future triumphs on the world stage. But early promise soon met harsh reality as the GT40's 1964 debut exposed critical technical challenges that would test the program's resilience. The Ford GT40's debut in 1964 was a moment filled with anticipation, yet it quickly became clear that this ambitious racing project faced formidable obstacles. Designed to challenge Ferrari's dominance in endurance racing, the GT40 Mk I was a product of transatlantic collaboration, combining American engineering ambition with British racing expertise. However, this blend also introduced complexity that complicated development and testing. Early versions of the GT40 struggled with critical technical issues that exposed the steep learning curve ahead. Aerodynamic inefficiency was one of the first challenges. The car's shape, while striking and low, its name referring to the roughly 40-inch height, did not initially deliver the downforce and airflow management needed for the high-speed demands of circuits like Le Mans. Cooling proved another significant problem. The powerful engines generated intense heat, but the cooling systems struggled to keep the car within safe operating temperatures, leading to strain on components and reduced reliability. Braking systems also revealed weaknesses. The GT40's brakes were prone to fading over long stints, a dangerous liability in endurance racing where consistent stopping power is crucial. Transmission failures further hampered its performance, with gearboxes unable to endure the prolonged stress of 24-hour competition. These technical shortcomings were compounded by the challenges inherent in coordinating a program that spanned continents, with Ford's American teams working alongside British specialists such as Ford Advanced Vehicles and the influence of Eric Broadley and his Lola Mk II design. The program's complexity sometimes slowed communication and problem-solving, making swift responses to issues more difficult. At the 1964 24 Hours of Le Mans, these struggles came into sharp focus. Despite high hopes and significant investment, the GT40 entries suffered mechanical failures and reliability problems that forced early retirements. The competition from seasoned European teams, including Ferrari, underscored how far the GT40 had to go to be truly competitive. Yet, these setbacks were not just failures. They were crucial lessons. Ford's engineers and drivers gained a deeper understanding of the demands of endurance racing, how aerodynamics, cooling efficiency, braking durability, and transmission robustness could make or break a race. The 1964 season revealed that raw power alone would not suffice. The GT40 program was still in its infancy, and the road ahead required relentless refinement and innovation. These early trials shaped the direction of the program, highlighting the need for more focused development and stronger partnerships. The experience underscored that beating Ferrari at Le Mans would demand more than ambition. It required a comprehensive rethinking of the car's design and preparation. The challenges of 1964 set the stage for a renewed effort in 1965, with new leadership and intensified engineering resolve aimed at transforming the GT40 from a promising contender into a true champion. For Ford, these early disappointments also revealed the unforgiving nature of international endurance racing, where even the smallest weakness could be exposed over hours of relentless competition against the world's most experienced teams and manufacturers. The failures of 1964 forced Ford to rethink its approach, leading to new partnerships and intensified development efforts in 1965. With Carroll Shelby now firmly in charge of the GT40's racing and development efforts, 1965 became a year of relentless work and hard-won progress. Shelby American took the lead in refining the car's performance, drawing on extensive testing and hands-on experience. Central to this effort was Ken Miles, a gifted driver and engineer whose keen insight and feedback played a crucial role in shaping the GT40's evolution. Miles was not just a driver pushing the car at speed. He was deeply involved in diagnosing its flaws and suggesting improvements to handling, reliability, and endurance. His contributions helped guide Shelby American's approach to overcoming the many challenges that had plagued the program since its inception. Despite these advances, the 1965 Le Mans race once again exposed the GT40's vulnerabilities. The cars showed better speed and handling compared to the previous year, but mechanical failures and durability issues still hampered their chances against Ferrari's well-honed endurance machines. The grueling 24-hour race pushed every component to its limit, and the GT40s, though improved, were not quite ready to endure without costly setbacks. These setbacks underscored the brutal reality of endurance racing, where outright speed was only part of the equation. Reliability, brake performance, effective cooling, and tire management were equally critical. Adding to Shelby American's efforts, Hulme and Moody, a respected Ford-affiliated racing and engineering team, brought valuable testing and preparation resources to the program. Their involvement enhanced the technical support network, contributing to incremental improvements in the GT40's durability and race readiness. Yet even with this expanded collaboration and expertise, the challenges remained significant. The 1965 season was marked by a harsh learning curve, a costly but necessary process to refine the car's complex systems under real racing conditions. Ford's ambition to compete and win on the world stage was clear, but the GT40's journey was far from straightforward. The car's development was a story of persistence, marked by trial and error, and the dedication of many skilled individuals working behind the scenes. The lessons learned during 1965 laid the groundwork for a more radical transformation. The team recognized that to finally dethrone Ferrari and claim victory at Le Mans, a more powerful and robust machine was needed. This realization set the stage for the next chapter, the creation of the GT40 Mk II, equipped with a formidable 7.0-liter V8 engine and engineered specifically to meet the unique demands of endurance racing. The painful experiences of 1965 fueled this bold leap forward as Ford and its partners prepared to bring a new level of speed, strength, and reliability to the track. The determination shown throughout 1965 reflected not only Ford's competitive drive, but also the growing sense of teamwork among engineers, mechanics, and drivers on both sides of the Atlantic. Each setback became a lesson, and every small gain in reliability or performance was hard-won, reinforcing the belief that a breakthrough was within reach if they could persevere. These setbacks fueled a radical transformation, the birth of the 7.0-liter GT40 Mk II, designed to finally meet the endurance challenge. To beat Ferrari, Ford unleashed a new weapon, the GT40 Mk II, a car that represented a decisive step forward in power and endurance engineering. Unlike its smaller block predecessors, the Mk II was built around a formidable 7.0-liter or 427 cubic inch Ford V8 engine paired with a robust 4-speed manual transmission. This combination was designed not just for raw speed, but for the grueling demands of 24-hour endurance racing. The larger displacement engine promised greater horsepower and torque, but integrating such power into a reliable race car required careful rethinking of the GT40's architecture. The Mk II differed substantially from the earlier GT40 Mk I. Its broader rear bodywork was more than a styling choice. It was a functional necessity. This expanded design allowed for upgraded cooling systems to manage the intense heat generated by the big block V8 during prolonged high-speed runs. Engineers paid close attention to aerodynamics, striving to balance the car's aggressive power output with stability and drag reduction. Improved brake systems were also crucial, addressing the repeated issues of fade and wear that had plagued earlier efforts at endurance events. This evolution was the product of intense collaboration between Ford's own engineering teams, Shelby American and Hulme Moody. Shelby's experience in American racing combined with Hulme Moody's expertise in preparation and testing brought a new level of sophistication to the program. Together, they tackled problems with transmissions, heat management, and mechanical durability that had caused costly failures in the 1964 and 1965 Le Mans campaigns. Every component, from chassis reinforcements to suspension tuning, was refined to withstand the relentless stresses of endurance racing. While exact horsepower figures for the Mk II vary among sources, it's clear the car delivered a significant performance boost over earlier versions. Yet, engineers were cautious not to push the engine beyond what the supporting systems could reliably handle. This careful balancing act between power and durability defined the Mk II's design philosophy. The GT40 Mk II was more than just an engine upgrade. It was a comprehensive reimagining of the car's potential to compete at the highest level. The integration of American muscle with British racing sensibilities, along with lessons learned from previous setbacks, forged a machine ready to challenge Ferrari's dominance. This new iteration laid the groundwork for a campaign that would test not only the car's engineering, but the skill and endurance of its drivers and crews. The transformation was tangible and soon to be proven at two of America's most demanding endurance races, setting the stage for Ford's historic breakthrough at Le Mans. The Mk II's development also reflected Ford's broader ambitions on the world stage. This was not simply a matter of building a faster car, but of demonstrating American engineering prowess in a European-dominated arena. The project's scale and resources underscored Ford's determination to compete at the highest level, with every detail scrutinized in pursuit of endurance racing success. Proof of this transformation would soon come at two of America's toughest endurance races, setting the stage for Le Mans. Early in 1966, the Ford GT40 Mk II began to show the fruits of relentless development and hard lessons learned. At the 24 Hours of Daytona, a race known for its grueling mix of high-speed banking and technical infield sections, Ken Miles and Lloyd Ruby took the wheel of a factory-supported GT40 Mk II. This victory was more than just a win. It was a statement that Ford's program was coming into its own. After years of setbacks and reliability issues, the Mk II demonstrated improved endurance, speed, and mechanical resilience. The 7.0-liter V8 engine, paired with a robust 4-speed manual transmission, proved capable of sustaining the punishing demands of a full day's racing against some of the world's best competitors. Just a few months later, the same driver pairing repeated their success at the 12 Hours of Sebring. This race, held on a challenging Florida airfield circuit with rough surfaces and changing weather conditions, tested the GT40 Mk II's durability and the team's strategic acumen. Again, Miles and Ruby emerged victorious, underscoring the significant progress made by the Shelby American team and their collaborators, including Hulme and Moody and Amon Racing. These wins were not merely isolated triumphs. They were critical milestones that boosted morale and validated the extensive engineering efforts invested in the car. The victories at Daytona and Sebring also spotlighted Ken Miles, whose skill and intimate knowledge of the GT40 Mk II made him an invaluable asset. His ability to push the car to its limits while preserving its mechanical integrity was a key factor in these endurance races. The prospect that Miles might secure wins at Daytona, Sebring, and Le Mans in the same year added a compelling narrative layer to Ford's campaign. It highlighted not only the car's capabilities, but also the human element, the drivers and teams who worked tirelessly behind the scenes. These American endurance races served as essential proving grounds. They tested everything from aerodynamics and cooling systems to brakes and fuel strategy under real race conditions. Success here was a clear signal that Ford was closing the gap on Ferrari, whose dominance at Le Mans had been unchallenged for years. Ford's comprehensive approach, combining multinational engineering collaboration with strategic race preparation, began to pay dividends. More than just victories, Daytona and Sebring 1966 were dress rehearsals for the ultimate challenge, the 24 Hours of Le Mans. They demonstrated that the GT40 Mk II was not only fast, but also reliable enough to endure the harshest demands of endurance racing. The coordination between drivers, engineers, mechanics, and support crews was reaching a level of precision necessary for success on the world stage. These achievements also reinforced Ford's determination to refine every detail, knowing that Le Mans would demand even greater endurance and flawless teamwork under international scrutiny. With confidence high, Ford assembled its largest factory-supported Le Mans effort ever, ready to challenge Ferrari on their home ground. On June 18, 1966, under the watchful eyes of Henry Ford II, the Ford GT40 Mk IIs roared to life at the Circuit de la Sarthe, ready to challenge Ferrari's 6-year dominance at Le Mans. This was not just a race. It was a meticulously planned corporate and engineering campaign that brought together Shelby American, Hulme and Moody, and Amon Racing in a massive factory-supported effort. Each team prepared their GT40 Mk IIs to withstand the brutal demands of 24 hours of relentless racing. The competition was fierce, with Ferrari representing the pinnacle of endurance racing success. Yet, Ford's determination was evident in every detail. From the car's robust 7.0-liter V8 engines to the carefully calibrated 4-speed manual transmissions designed for both power and durability. Beyond raw speed, the race was a complex test of endurance factors: mechanical reliability, brake performance, tire wear, fuel management, and the mental and physical stamina of the drivers. The unpredictable weather and the unforgiving circuit only heightened these challenges. Throughout the race, Ferrari's factory entries struggled with mechanical failures that forced their retirement, underscoring the harsh reality of endurance racing, where even the best machines can falter. Ford's preparation paid off as the GT40 Mk IIs demonstrated remarkable durability and consistency, steadily moving to the front. The teamwork and coordination within the Ford camps ensured quick pit stops, strategic tire changes, and efficient driver swaps. Ultimately, the race concluded with a historic 1-2-3 finish for Ford, marking the first time an American manufacturer claimed overall victory at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. McLaren and Chris Amon took the checkered flag in the number 2 Shelby American GT40 Mk II, followed closely by Ken Miles and Denny Hulme, and then Ronnie Bucknam and Dick Hutcherson in the Holman Moody entry. This triumph was more than a win on the track. It was a testament to years of relentless development, teamwork, and overcoming setbacks. The 1966 Le Mans race reshaped endurance racing history, proving that American engineering and strategic collaboration could topple a European powerhouse. For the teams and drivers, the 1966 Le Mans was a relentless test of focus and resilience, where every hour brought new obstacles and demanded constant adaptation. The sheer scale of Ford's operation was unprecedented, with engineers, mechanics, and support staff working around the clock to monitor every detail, from engine temperatures to brake wear. Communication between pit crews and drivers became a lifeline as the race unfolded through the night, with shifting weather and the ever-present risk of mechanical failure keeping everyone on edge. The atmosphere in the pits was a mixture of tension and determination, as each team responded to setbacks and seized opportunities. As dawn broke over the circuit, the magnitude of Ford's achievement began to take shape. But the story was far from simple. Yet the dramatic race finish would spark controversy, raising questions about who truly won and why. As the 1966 24 Hours of Le Mans approached its final moments, Ford sought to stage a symbolic gesture, a close formation finish among its leading GT40 Mk IIs. This plan aimed to showcase the dominance of the American effort and to send a clear message to their rivals. On the track, Ken Miles and Denny Hulme, piloting the #1 Shelby American Ford GT40 Mk II, appeared to cross the finish line ahead of their teammates Bruce McLaren and Chris Amon in the #2 car. Yet, the official race results told a different story. Due to the starting positions and timing procedures used at Le Mans, the McLaren Amon car was declared the winner because it had covered a slightly greater total distance during the 24-hour race. This discrepancy arose because cars did not start from the same grid spot. Some began further back, effectively adding distance to their total race mileage. The complexity of endurance racing timing, combined with the decision to attempt a staged finish, contributed to confusion over who truly crossed the line first. Period photographs reveal that the checkered flag was waved at a point that did not coincide precisely with the official timing line, further complicating interpretations of the finish. Over time, narratives emerged suggesting that Ken Miles deliberately slowed his car at the finish as a protest against the team's orders, but definitive contemporary evidence for this claim is lacking. The official result, upheld by race officials, awarded first place to McLaren and Amon, second to Miles and Hulme, and third to Ronnie Bucknam and Dick Hutcherson in a Holman Moody prepared GT40 Mk II. This outcome denied Ken Miles the historic achievement of winning Daytona, Sebring, and Le Mans all in the same year, a feat that would have cemented his legacy even more firmly in motorsport history. The formation finish and its aftermath highlight the intricate interplay of corporate strategy, race regulations, and human effort that defined Ford's 1966 campaign. While the controversy remains a poignant chapter in the story, it also underscores the challenges inherent in endurance racing, where victory depends not only on speed, but on precision, coordination, and sometimes difficult decisions made off the track. Ken Miles' contributions as a driver and development engineer were invaluable to the GT40 program's success, and his legacy endures beyond the official record. The 1966 Le Mans finish, with all its nuance and complexity, reminds us that racing history is often shaped by more than just who crosses the line first. For many who witnessed the events at Le Mans that year, the finish became a symbol of both triumph and bittersweet loss. The moment encapsulated the unpredictable nature of endurance racing, where months of preparation and teamwork could be overshadowed by a single procedural detail. It also served as a reminder that motorsport history is shaped as much by circumstance as by individual achievement. Ken Miles' story and the GT40's legacy extend far beyond the official results, shaping American automotive history for decades to come. The story of the GT40 is one of shared passion, innovation, and teamwork that reshaped endurance racing and American automotive identity. Ford's 1966 triumph at Le Mans wasn't just a single moment of glory. It was the culmination of years of multinational collaboration, tireless engineering effort, and relentless determination from teams like Shelby American and Holman Moody. This victory ended Ferrari's 6-year dominance and marked the first time an American manufacturer stood atop the world's most prestigious endurance race. The GT40 program's success was never about one person or one decision. Instead, it was forged in the complex interplay of corporate ambition, technical breakthroughs, and the skill of drivers such as Ken Miles, whose contributions to development and racing remain deeply respected. Ford's achievements did not stop in 1966. The following years saw continued victories at Le Mans through 1969, with different versions of the GT40 and the Ford Mk IV each playing their part. These wins highlighted the ongoing evolution of the program and the relentless pursuit of performance and reliability. More than a racing car, the GT40 became a symbol of American engineering prowess and competitive spirit on the international stage. Its legacy invites us to appreciate the collective effort behind this landmark achievement, beyond the simplified tales of rivalry and revenge. As we remember this chapter of racing history, we welcome your reflections on the many forces that drove Ford's GT40 to greatness. If this story has sparked your interest, consider subscribing to explore more about the rich world of automotive history. As we remember this chapter of racing history, we welcome your reflections on the many forces that drove Ford's GT40 to greatness.